Hi, I'm Michael Sidebottom, and this is Reservation's Locks. Hidden in a box on the very top shelf is a reservation of doubt that I hid for myself. When I tucked it away, I had plans to use, intending to get high when I had nothing to lose. It would be a very long time before I could touch that box, when I no longer feared a cell that locks. But when that time came, I'd be ready to ride. The rush would be mine with no more need to hide. But now I found myself doubting the doubt. Is this reservation worth my life? Can I truly live without? Maybe it's time to see beyond the desire. Maybe it's time to set my sights higher. This reservation of doubt that I set aside is a stubborn fault from which I can no longer hide. As long as I keep it hidden away, I cannot move forward beyond the present day. So the time has come to take down that box and free myself from reservation's locks. My future is a prisoner in that box of doubt. So I break the reservation and I let myself out. Now, when I started the process of recovery, it was court ordered. It was either get clean for 3 years or go to prison. So naturally I chose to get clean. But it was by no means what I wanted to do. I wanted to keep using my drugs. I wanted to keep getting high. I wanted to keep living the life I was used to living. So my plan was that I was going to do everything they wanted me to do and say everything they wanted me to say in order to get through this 3 years. But when that time was up, I was going to go right back to using drugs and getting high. I was going to go right back to living that life I was used to living. That was my plan, and that was my intention. So keeping that in mind, here's what I did. A couple days before I had to go to court and be sentenced to start this whole process, I had one last good blast, one last party, one last time of getting high. And when I was done, I took all my using supplies, my paraphernalia, my drugs, my needles, my pipes, my spoons, my baggies, my scales, my ties, everything I used to get high with. Then I put that in a box and I sealed it up. And then I put that in my safe and locked it up. And I put my safe on the top shelf of my closet and kind of tucked it away. Now I knew it would be another 3 years before I could touch the contents of that box. But when that time came, it would be ready for me and I'd be ready to ride. I'd be just gung-ho to get high again. That was my plan and that was my intention. But the funny thing is that somewhere along the way this recovery thing kind of got a hold of me, got under my skin, and it took. This recovery that was being forced on me to me in the beginning became something I wanted. Became something I desperately wanted. Because I realized that the life I had been living before was fucked up and miserable. And I never, ever wanted to go back to that fucked up, miserable life again. I never actually wanted to go back to using drugs again. And thus, my plans and my intentions changed. I wanted this recovery to work. I wanted to make it happen for the rest of my life. But even so, here's the thing. That box of supplies up in my closet, hidden away and tucked away, it still stayed there. I knew it had to come down eventually and be thrown away and gotten rid of. And I kept telling myself that, yeah, I'll do it eventually, someday. But I kept putting it off and putting it off. And time passed by. Months passed. And eventually a year passed. And still that box remained tucked away in my closet. All those using supplies just sitting there, ready for me. And at first I thought it was just a simple procrastination. But after a while I realized that it was more than just a procrastination. I realized the truth. I realized that this box represented a reservation of doubt. It represented the idea of what if. Because tucked away in the back of my mind somewhere, the idea of what if I was wrong. What if, when I got on probation, I changed my mind and I wanted to use again? What if I wanted to get high just one more time? What if I just wanted to get high every now and then? Or just whatever. What if? And so I realized that this was a dangerous thing. Because long as I held that box in my closet and this reservation of doubt in my mind, then I was never going to be truly free from the addiction of my past. And I was never going to be truly free to move forward into a future of recovery, free from my addiction. As long as I held on to the idea, no matter how small, of the possibility that I might get high again, then that possibility could very well become a reality. And my recovery was never certain. So I needed to do something about it. So on my 1-year sobriety birthday, I gave myself a birthday gift. I finally broke down, took down my safe, unlocked it, took out the box and opened it up. And there was all those old using supplies just sitting there. And it was funny because The last time I'd seen that stuff, my mindset was such that the next time I'd be seeing it would be to use it. But here I was, instead of using it, I was here to destroy it. And at first I thought that was going to be a real simple task. I'd just take it out, destroy it, and be done with it. But it was a lot harder than I thought. Because this reservation of doubt, this what if idea in the back of my mind, didn't want to let go. It wanted to hold on and keep that addiction in my life. And I didn't want that to happen. So I had to do something. And sometimes in life, if you want something bad enough, if you want freedom bad enough, you have to reach out with both hands and just take it. So that's what I did. I reached out with both hands and I took it. I reached out with both hands and I destroyed all that stuff. I cracked the pipes. I bent the spoons. I bent the needles. I cut up the ties and the baggies. And I destroyed everything in that box. And when I was done, I took all the bits and pieces and put it back in the box and I sealed it up tight. Then I walked it out and threw it in my dumpster at the bottom of the dumpster under all the trash. And then I walked away. And let me tell you, when I walked away from that, this feeling of relief that came over me was just amazing. Because this idea of what if, this reservation of doubt that I've been holding on to, was bigger than I thought. And once I actually got rid of that box, I got rid of everything it represented. I got rid of the reservation. Because at that point, I knew, without a doubt in my mind, that I never, ever wanted to go back to using drugs again. That was a part of my past, which was dead and buried, which in a way is what I had to do in this instance. I had to treat it as if it was part of my life that was dead, and I had to grieve over and let go. Because letting go of this reservation was hard. I had to kind of grieve over it a little bit and be depressed. But then once I finally accepted it, it was gone forever. It was a good feeling. A really good feeling. Very worth it. So if you or anyone you know is holding on to a reservation of doubt about ever using again, you're holding on to the idea of maybe, just what if you might want to do it, let go. Trust me, letting go of that reservation of doubt in your mind will be worth it. That's all I got. Thank you. Check out my amazing story of recovery from addiction at michaelsidebottom.author.com or Facebook on the road. It truly is an amazing story, and I hope you can get something out of it.